Welcome to Stoic Inner Power, where we uncover the ancient secrets of strength, resilience, and the mastery of the self. True magnetism is not about loud charisma or flashy appearances, but something far deeper and much more dangerous to ignore. There is a specific kind of allure that does not beg for attention, but commands it through sheer force of will. We call this dangerous magnetism because it unsettles the weak and inspires the strong, creating a powerful divide in perception. Today, we will dissect the 6 signs of this rare power, rooted deeply in the ancient philosophy of Stoic discipline. These are not tricks to manipulate others, but traits of a man who has completely conquered the chaos within himself. When you possess these traits, you become unpredictable to those who rely on emotional reactions to read and control people. Society teaches us to be loud to be heard, but the Stoic knows that true power often speaks in whispers. By the end of this video, you will understand how to cultivate an aura that commands respect without saying a word. Let us begin with the first sign of dangerous magnetism, which is the ability to maintain absolute calmness under pressure. The dangerous man does not react when the world screams. Instead, he watches the chaos with a terrifyingly absolute stillness. While others panic and let their emotions dictate their actions, he observes the situation with the cold precision of a surgeon. This calmness is not passivity, it is a deliberate choice to withhold reaction until the perfect moment to act arrives. People are naturally drawn to those who remain composed because it signals a level of competence that is incredibly rare. In a world full of fragile egos and quick tempers, the man who cannot be provoked holds the ultimate power. Imagine a rock in a river. The water rushes and crashes, but the rock remains exactly where it chooses to be. This trait makes you dangerous because your enemies cannot find your buttons to push, leaving them powerless to manipulate you. Silence in the face of provocation is louder than any scream, creating a vacuum that others feel compelled to fill. This absolute calm creates a mystery, forcing people to wonder what vast reserves of strength lie beneath your quiet surface. The second sign is emotional mastery, which means controlling the display of your feelings rather than letting them control you. He does not suppress his emotions like a robot, but he refuses to let them dictate his behavior in public. His joy is never excessive, his anger is never explosive, and his fear is never visible to the outside world. When people cannot read your emotions, they cannot predict your next move, and that makes you incredibly difficult to deceive. This mastery creates a barrier of professionalism and dignity that commands respect from both your allies and your potential adversaries. Think of the ocean. The surface may be choppy with waves, but the depths remain calm, dark, and dangerously silent. By denying others the satisfaction of seeing you upset, you retain your power and keep the upper hand in interactions. This is the essence of Stoicism. It is not the removal of feeling, but the domestication of the animal within. People are terrified of what they cannot understand, and a man who shows no weakness is a puzzle they fear. Emotional control signals that you are the master of your own kingdom, answering to reason rather than the whims of impulse. The third sign is purposeful action, where every movement and every decision is driven by a clear and defined internal goal. He does not rush to prove himself to others, nor does he act simply to gain the attention of the crowd. Everything he does comes from his own internal values, independent of the need for external validation or cheap social applause. Here lies the paradox of magnetism. The less you try to get attention, the more you inevitably draw it to yourself. When a man acts with purpose, he eliminates the unnecessary noise from his life, leaving only what is essential and true. He moves with a deliberate pace, never hurrying, because a king is never late. Everyone else is simply too early. This steadfast adherence to his own path makes him dangerous because he cannot be swayed by peer pressure or trends. People naturally follow those who know where they are going, as uncertainty is a plague that the strong man cures. His actions are not performances for an audience. They are rituals of self-respect that he would perform even in isolation. This clarity of purpose acts like a gravitational field, pulling in resources, opportunities, and people who wish to serve the mission. The fourth sign is the power of detachment, the ability to remain unaffected by the outcomes, opinions, or judgments of others. He does not cling to compliments to boost his ego, nor does he crumble when faced with insults or rejection. When you truly do not need the approval of anyone, when you truly do not need the approval of anyone else, your energy shifts completely, becoming lighter yet more imposing. This mental independence makes others both curious and cautious, as they realize they have no leverage to control your happiness. He treats success and failure as the same imposter, learning from both but being defined by neither of them. Detachment is the ultimate armor. It allows you to walk through fire without getting burned because you are not fuel. Most people are desperate to be liked or feared, but the dangerous man is content simply to be himself. This trait signals high value as scarcity creates demand. By not giving yourself away freely, you become a prize. He is present in the moment but always keeps a part of himself reserved, a sanctuary where no one else enters. Detachment is not indifference to life, but a refusal to be enslaved by the transient nature of worldly things. The fifth sign is controlled silence, using the absence of speech as a tactical tool to gain information and power. His silence is not a sign of weakness or ignorance, but a deliberate choice to conserve energy and observe. He knows exactly when to speak, and more importantly, he knows when to say absolutely nothing to shift the balance. This silence creates a psychological void that others feel anxious to fill, often revealing more than they intended to. By speaking less, he ensures that when he finally does speak, his words carry the weight of gold and authority. The dangerous man listens twice as much as he talks, gathering ammunition that he may need to use later on. Silence allows him to remain an enigma, preventing others from figuring out his strategies, his weaknesses, or his next move. In a noisy world, the man who is comfortable with silence stands out like a monolith, impossible to ignore or move. He uses silence to punish disrespect, to signal disapproval, or simply to give himself space to think clearly and deeply. Mastering silence is mastering the art of presence. You do not need to make noise to let people know you are there. The final sign is unspoken power, the result of mastering all previous traits to create an aura of tamed chaos. This is the culmination of self-mastery, a form of chaos that has been harnessed and refined into a potent fuel. It is strength forged in the shadows, built through discipline, restraint, and the daily battle against one's own weaker impulses. This power does not need to announce itself. It is felt viscerally by everyone who enters the room with you. It makes the weak feel insecure because it highlights their lack of control, while it inspires the strong to respect you. Unspoken power is the difference between a dog that barks and a lion that simply stares you down into submission. You become a magnet because people crave safety, and your presence signals that you can handle what they are afraid of. This is the ultimate goal of the Stoic path, to become a fortress of strength that protects the mind from corruption. Your true power lies in what you do not show, the 90% of the iceberg that remains beneath the surface. When you possess this, you no longer chase the world. The world begins to revolve around your steady, unmoving center. These 6 signs are not gifts of birth. They are the rewards of a relentless war against your own weakness. The path to dangerous magnetism is lonely and difficult, but the view from the summit is worth every single step. Start today by observing your reactions, controlling your tongue, and acting with a purpose that scares the average man. You have the potential to be this dangerous force. You only need to strip away the fear that holds you back. Embrace the silence, master your emotions, and let your actions speak so loudly that your voice is no longer needed. If you are ready to forge your spirit and master the art of silent strength, join us on this journey. Thank you for watching Stoic Inner Power. Subscribe now to unlock your potential and become the master of your fate. Remember that physical discipline often leads to mental fortitude, creating a foundation upon which your stoic character can be built. Reflecting on your thoughts daily allows you to catch emotional slips before they become public failures of your character. Nature teaches us that growth takes time and that the strongest roots are those that have weathered the harshest storms. Do not waste your limited time on earth seeking applause. Spend it building a legacy of character and inner strength. Voluntary discomfort trains the mind to handle unexpected pain, making you resilient when life inevitably throws challenges your way. Look to the ancients not just for quotes, but for a blueprint on how to live with dignity and power. The dangerous man is also a protector. His strength is a shelter for those who cannot defend themselves against chaos. Your breath is the anchor. When the world spins out of control, return to your breath and find your center. Fire tests gold, and suffering tests brave men. Do not run from the fire, but let it refine your spirit. In the end, it is not about how many pieces you took, but whether you are still standing when the game ends. Endurance is the quiet cousin of courage. It is the will to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Knowledge without application is useless. You must take these lessons and apply them to the reality of your daily life. The horizon is limitless, and so is the potential of a man who has mastered his mind and conquered his emotions. Let your principles be your compass. They will guide you through the darkest nights when all other lights have gone out. Prepare yourself every morning, for the world will try to break you, and you must be ready to stand firm. Accept the bitter with the sweet. A Stoic man does not demand that life be easy, only that he be strong. Duty is heavy, but it is the weight that builds strong muscles. Embrace your responsibilities as opportunities for growth. Step out of the shadows of mediocrity and into the light of excellence. The world needs more men of dangerous character. Let your presence roar while your voice remains silent. This is the ultimate display of the power we have discussed today. Solitude is the forge of the soul. Do not fear being alone, for that is when you truly meet yourself. We are but dust in the universe, yet we have the capacity to contain the infinite within our own minds. Listen to the beat of your own heart. It is the drum that marches you towards your destiny, 1 second at a time. Sharpen your mind as you would a blade. A dull mind is a liability in a world that demands constant adaptation. Watch the world rush by and realize that you do not need to join the race to be a winner. The only approval that matters is the one you see in the mirror when you know you have acted with integrity. Every step you take towards self-mastery separates you further from the crowd and brings you closer to your true potential. Amor fati. Love your fate, whatever it brings, for it is the material out of which you will carve your greatness. Guard your inner flame jealously. Do not let the winds of society or the storms of emotion blow it out. Cold, heat, pain, and pleasure. Treat them all as indifferent visitors who come and go, while you remain the host. The present moment is all you possess. The past is dead, and the future is uncertain, so own the now completely. Be like the stone, smooth, hard, and shaped by the river, yet solid enough to break anything that strikes it hard. Order amidst chaos. Be the structure in a world that is falling apart, and people will naturally gravitate towards you. Use your logic as a shield and your reason as a sword. Emotions are bad masters, but can be good servants. Adaptability is key. Be rigid in your principles, but flexible in your methods, flowing like water to achieve your goals. Find peace in the small pauses of life. You do not need a retreat to find silence, only a quiet mind. Your hands are the tools of your will. Use them to build, to protect, and to shape the world around you. Every sunrise is a chance to reset, to practice these signs again, and to become a little more dangerous than yesterday. Know when to disconnect. The constant stream of information weakens your resolve and dilutes your focus on what truly matters. Be a light in the darkness. When others are lost in confusion, your clarity will serve as a beacon for them. Face the wind, face the pain, face the truth. Hiding from reality only makes you weaker and more vulnerable to it. Life is chaos, but your mind is the frame that gives it meaning. Choose to frame it with strength and wisdom. Do not worry about your legacy. Focus on your character, for that is the only thing that is truly yours to keep. You now have the blueprint. The rest is up to you to build the structure of a dangerous magnetic man. Calmness, mastery, purpose, detachment, silence, and power. These are the pillars of the temple you must build within yourself. This is not a path for the lazy or the weak. It is a path for those who demand more. Join us, subscribe to the channel, and let us walk this difficult but rewarding path of Stoic power together. Thank you for watching Stoic Inner Power. Stay strong, stay silent, and let your power speak for itself. Goodbye.